to the Torq podcast. Find us on all your favourite podcast platforms or watch us on YouTube.
We're back, baby.
All right.
And we made it to double digits without skipping a month. And I know it's the end of the month, but it's still within the month.
It counts.
That's right.
Episode 10.
Nice work.
Yes.
We'll have to do something special soon. Like, we'll have to get some guests happening, or we'll do a live stream, or what do you reckon?
But yeah, or both.
Or both. What, a live stream with the guests?
Yeah, why not? Just
Jesus. Just bring all the complexity.
Yeah, why not?
Tell you what, we are riding high at the moment. We've cleared a hurdle. It's always really nice to tick a box on the project.
Yeah, getting a little bit of visual progress, as they call it.
That's right. That's why we've moved the table around this time. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, you might be able to see the turbo in place on the wagon, final resting spot, plumbed up as far as exhaust manifolds go.
Yeah, as far as piping from the engine to the back of the car, it's all there. A few little bits and pieces to go, wastegates and some mounting and whatnot, but for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah.
Still got a bit of welding to do as well. It's SEMA finished.
Yeah, it's Instagram ready.
Yeah, for sure. So no, it's been good. It's been chipping away. It's good to get a good solid crack at it. You know, we've just got through school holidays over here in Western Australia, so the last couple of, you and I both work sort of an even time roster, and yeah, have been struggling to get on this thing. So
the great time about an even time roster is there's plenty of days off for the missus to book you in to do family stuff.
Yeah,
that's a great thing about it.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
and do house chores and all that other stuff. So,
yeah,
it's all about the balance, mate.
That's right. I think we're doing okay. It has been a little while since our last video, but there was a fair bit of work that went into this exhaust setup, which is why there's been a bit of a hiatus. But also, shout out to Caden, the owner of the Low Cut Fuck Truck. Had a birthday this week.
Yeah.
And we celebrated by buying more car parts for him with his money.
It's got to be done, mate. We've been pretty good, though. We've been behaving.
We've been pretty frugal. We're only getting what we need when we need it.
Yeah. There's a little bit of Salt Bay on there, but not too much.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a little point that I wouldn't mind bringing up. You'd see in the comments, we get some people that, not being nasty or anything, but they have these suggestions, let's say. And someone asked us when we were doing the charge piping why we weren't using Wigan-style clamps on the intercooler piping. Now, obviously, if you've watched a lot of our videos, you know that we love using the plasma clamps, but they're usually for fairly high horsepower applications and not running from the back of the car to the front of the car.
Yeah.
So I know it's, and I'm probably guilty of it. You're probably guilty of it as well.
We all are.
When you watch something online and you just imagine that, well, if they're building that, they must have the money, and why don't they do this and why don't they do that? At the end of it, someone's got to pay for this, which is Caden in this.
Yeah, we're picking our battles like we've alluded to many times. It's a basic, very basic build, like low horsepower, maximum fun.
Yeah,
get good parts where we need them, and a silicon joiner with a bead rolled lip on either side is ample.
Considering we're only looking at making 12, maybe 14 pounds of boost, like absolute max, you're not going to blow that off. And a silicon and a hose clamp at about $22, say, versus $169 for a plasma clamp per join, that adds up real fast when you're running from the diff all the way to the front of the car, because there's a lot of joins in there. You need a lot of flexibility, which those plasma clamps obviously offer some decent flexibility.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love using them.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first time, whose was the first one I did? I think it was Liam's.
Yeah.
Liam's was one of the first alley cooler pipe jobs. Actually, the first one I did. I did a real hobo spec one when I was like way younger, and it looked like it was absolute dog shit. But Liam's was the actual first one I did in alley, and I used those clamps, and I was hesitant at the start just because I wanted to get the job looking really nice, and I hadn't done them, but they are beautiful to weld, and they just look like, his setup ended up turning out really nice, I think. So
some of those photos from that build have been shared on a lot of pages with good following as well. I think you did a great job on the cooler piping.
Yeah,
on
we
that
use
car.
you use good parts and take your time. You can get a good result.
That's right. And we're still doing that here. We're just not using a Wigan style clamp or, balling out on titanium exhaust and, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, fit for purpose.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, maybe it adds up when you see I'm not sure what exactly they're going for, but say like a 2.5 one, a 2.5 inch one must be like, I don't know, 140-ish something for a set.
No, 165 I think it was.
For a 2.5.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like much. You're like, oh yeah, but then you times that by on this car.
Probably 7.
Yeah, at least. Because if you do it, you got to do it the whole. There's no point doing it all the way and having one silicon somewhere where it's a bit tricky to do. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it from the turbo to the throttle body, or otherwise you're wasting your time, in my opinion. Anyway, so
agreed. Yeah.
Because like any system, it's only as good as its weakest link. So
yeah.
So yeah, it can add up quick. Basically, is what we're getting at. So with this, the money would definitely be better spent elsewhere. So
and we have, I guess, indulged in a couple of areas which. They do serve a purpose. They are probably slightly indulgent. We maybe didn't need to buy some certain things, but it will pay dividends later on.
Yeah, I think for the most part, we've needed to do everything.
Yeah, for sure. But we're pretty proud of where it's coming along. Like I say, we're sort of riding that high at the moment where we've ticked a box and we've got that instant gratification where you stand back and you see it.
Yeah, it's just been good to have. Just to be able to get back onto it. I've really struggled. The car's been here for quite a while now already, and we've just sort of struggled to get some consistency with lining up and getting stuff done on it, like a little drab here and there, it does hinder the progress if you can just sort of, and even the last couple of days, it's not like we've had long days or anything really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's come along good, so it's good.
That's it. Also wanted to follow up from the last podcast. We made mention Kelvin Lyle had an unfortunate accident in Darwin in his door slammer. Now, obviously, a month or more has passed since that's happened. He's well, as far as I'm aware, back home again in southwest WA. But yesterday I did see on the socials he's hanging up at the boots.
Had enough.
Yeah, he said, I guess he's taken out the championship this year, which is probably not a bad way to sort of go out. Unfortunately, following a crash, though, which probably counteracts it. But I think he's had a couple of big ones, and he sort of went, do you know what? This one was probably a blessing to get out of, and I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead.
Yep.
But says he's still going to be around, still loves the sport, still going to support everyone out there doing it. And, man, hats off to him to run a door slammer program that's as successful as his. Had a lot of sort of issues going through with the Mustang, but got it sorted out to, championship level. So hats off to him, and thanks, Kelvin, for the good times. And look forward to seeing you out and about at the track, even without the helmet on.
That's it, yeah. Congrats on the championship. Good stuff.
Yeah. I've made a couple of notes. I'm just going to go back to them.
I did see something cool on the internet the other day that I will bring up on one of our upcoming segments.
Okay.
I wish I had researched it a little bit more. I only just seen it.
Yeah.
It was a little 14-minute video, and I don't know. I think I'll encourage people to go and have a look.
Ooh, interesting. Speaking of the internet, sad days for the internet. The Aussie V8 forum, we've made mention of it many, many times. It's closed.
Forums are officially dead just about, aren't they?
Just about. We've had a few punters shout out to us and say, hey, jump on Just Commodores. It's still going, still kicking.
Yeah, right. That was like my least favourite.
Was it?
Yeah, shit, yeah. Yeah, I was I definitely like Street Commodores. That was probably the one where I hung out the most. Aussie V8, I was a lurker. I didn't really post much. It was a long time ago. I didn't have much
to offer.
Yeah, exactly. But I did learn a lot and enjoyed the stuff that I did see on there.
Yeah, yeah. Street Commodores was the one for me. That was in the peak. Aussie V8. Commodore Plus was pretty good. I don't know if that's still running either. That was the one that sort of when they shut Street Commodores.
Oh, is that the one that Gary? What is it, Gary McRae or something? The fella with the Senator that started up.
Yeah, maybe
3D, the Print Ninja dude. Yeah, That one, yeah, it was alright. It was better than nothing.
Yeah.
In general, forums are just dead, aren't they?
I think so. I think
Unfortunately,
Facebook killed the forums, which sucks because Facebook is nowhere near as good. Yeah, you can get some good info out of it, and we're being 5 litre guys. We're very lucky that we've got the Pro Holden V8 group, which has a lot of the patronage from, say, Aussie V8 forum on there. So you do get that good sort of technical discussion, which a bit different from other groups, which are filled with the coilovers and
no. I want a video of a 286 cam.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Idle vid. But it's just another massive information resource that's gone forever.
Yeah.
And I think there was talk about it being saved as like a read-only type website, but even that doesn't look like it's come to fruition. Obviously, there's just been a massive decline in traffic, and there's no sponsor to fund it, so it's coming out of the admin's pocket. And
it wasn't cheap, from what I gather, either.
I wouldn't have thought so. No. Websites aren't that cheap, and if you need it paid for XYZ amount of bandwidth for people posting videos and photos and whatever, probably add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
you think about how much we've lost over the years just with like remember the photo bucket thing, how much that fucked up all the forums, or none of the photos and stuff were there.
Yeah, you go to Google Images and you're like, oh sweet, you click on it, it's like ba-bow. Like, damn it. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. I'm just thinking now how much info would be lost forever, until someone figures it out again, because...
Yeah. Do you have any standouts from the Aussie V8 forum that really hit
what, like
for you?
threads or...
Yeah, threads, posts, tantrums, whatever.
I'm trying to think. There was this mong that got on there like late in the piece, like years ago now, and he was... Oh, shit. Oh, really? And it was on Aussie V8. I can't remember what his name was now, but he was on there for like a week just running a fuck. Talking about... It was Turbo Holden V8 stuff from memory, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it was good.
Did he get chased out with like pitchforks and torch flame?
More or less. Yeah. No, there's a few. I've really only got like a couple of usernames sort of that
stand out.
Yeah, and for no real reason, really.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was one guy that used to talk a heap of shit on there. I think it was Tanker 57 or something like that. He used to get on there a bit. And yeah, good times.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to like they had the 500 horsepower 308 challenge, and people would sort of go through. Obviously, that's crank horsepower and whatever, but people that are trying to do more with less. I think, that's something that you and I are quite into anyway, trying to do more with less. But yeah, things like that. The priority oiling mod thread. Things like that had very in-depth, detailed descriptions and photos, and you could learn a lot from those things. And it's unfortunate that it's a resource that's now gone.
Yeah, like you said, at least we've got the Pro Holden group, and if you've sort of been around a while, you know who. If you do need to call someone, if you actually are interested in spending some money, you kind of know roughly who to call.
Yeah, the people with the runs on the board.
Yeah,
and like everything, like Facebook and whatever, like you say, there's mongs that were on there, and it was a dick swinging competition, and they just made themselves out to be absolute clowns. But for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good community.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about, I just want to interject for a second, if that's the right word. How's Bobby V's form making 650 horsepower to the hub, naturally aspirated Holden 355?
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem real to me. It just doesn't.
Yeah. For an aspirated 355 to, at 650 at the hubs, you'd have to think that'd be making 800 at the crank.
And what's the ET in? I'm not fully up on exactly what its best ET is today, but it's pretty fast.
It'd be close to, if not just about bang on an 850, like 850, 855, something like that, at like 160 mile an hour.
That's going to upset a lot of different cars making a lot more horsepower. I
mean, it is a pretty exotic piece, though. Those, say, the heads and the intake manifold and the valve train, and they're all
anything any engine combination or platform, I should say, that makes that sort of horsepower and then can run that fast off the foot brake, there's nothing that you're going to have there's work, there's sweat equity in the combination is what it is. You know what I mean?
And he's been working at that for a long, long time.
And it's not like he's the first guy to spend the sort of money that he has spent, that anyone would have to spend or more to get it to go that fast. He's just put in the work, and he's got the right people on his team. And I'm talking like I know the guy. I don't really know him that well, but we've met him. He's a super nice guy, and he obviously just has a lot of passion for that little niche that he's working on, and it's awesome to see.
That's
It
right.
really is. It's cool to see. It's like it opens your eyes to what's possible. Because if you had said that a couple of years ago, there's no way I'd believe it.
No.
I can still barely believe it now.
No. A mid 8-second aspirated 355 Holden light. The thing, it's got a lot of exotic parts on it, but it is still a stock block 4-bolt main.
Yeah, even all that with a turbocharger on in a car like that, even that going that fast with a turbo is still pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Like 850s is no joke.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to one day get mine to do like an 890. Would be like awesome, but it would take a lot more than what I've got, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. 1.14 to the 60 foot off the foot brake he's done in the past, I've seen, and I'm just like, that's mind-bending. That's wild 60 foot times. He's really got that sorted.
And I think he's probably got more to go, because if you're seeing it gets on the back tyre a fair bit. I don't know nothing about setting up a chassis, but it looks like you could definitely tie it down a little more. But there's obviously a lot that goes into getting that balance. But yeah, very cool to see.
Once you get to that level, it's like every minute adjustment to get that extra 1,000th of a second, 100th of a second. It's all just very, very particular.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I believe he's got some people that sort of do pro stock type racing, which obviously that's aspirated V8 sort of stuff. It's obviously quite different to a reasonably stock body VL Commodore. But to have that sort of knowledge imparted to help you with your setup, it'd be
worth its weight in gold. Yeah.
Priceless.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that would just be cool to mention, because there'd be a lot of people out there like me that would hardly believe it.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of horsepower on the internet, though, and people sort of making insane goals, I swear every post that Jeff Johnson puts up is 1,500 plus horsepower on pump E85 at the moment.
I think that that hub dyno definitely had its tongue hanging out the other week, didn't it?
Holy, like just for a week straight of content, it was just banging 15, 16, 1,700 horsepower. Cars that are like getting ready to go to Kenda and whatever. And man, the dude, he just must live on that keyboard. Works hard. We're very blessed to have Jeff sort of on side with this wagon build. He's sort of already stuck his hand up, because we're running Holly, of course.
Yeah.
That he'd be happy to help us out with tuning. So thanks, Jeff. Big shout out to you at Power Management Solutions. He'd be in Sydney at the moment for Kenda.
They'll be having a fat time over there too. Jealous.
Oh yeah.
I want to go over there.
Yeah. That would be a great time. I've done. Obviously, I did the private test day earlier in the year in February for some of the guys that run over there, and watching them test is very impressive.
Yeah,
it'd be great to see on a race day, and just to be a fly on the wall.
It'd be cool to get a few more radial cars over here, like get a real good following.
Yeah,
that's definitely getting better. The boys, I see they learn a lot about the prep. I watched the video that our friend Brendan put up on Because Race Car, the prep video. That was interesting. So it's good to see they learned some stuff, and moving forward, the track's probably going to be a lot better.
Yeah, awesome.
So that'll be very good for us, West Australians, to see.
Makes me wonder what the limitations are going to be for this pump E85 though. Like just watching how far some of these cars go, like 2,000 odd horsepower on pump E85. Like where does it end? And obviously EFI and ignition tuning and all that's coming along, and valve train technology's coming along, and it's all certainly helping as things move on. But we got to see a plateau sooner or later, surely.
probably. I mean, they just get to a point where you just go to methanol and ditch the intercooler and those sorts of things. You can save a bunch of weight. And
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Not us.
Couple of big block Chevys coming out of the works as well. The
Yes.
woodworks. That
Big blocks are the best blocks, I reckon.
Oh, I reckon. I'd love to do a big block Chevy at some point. Obviously, we wouldn't have the squealer behind us to be making 2K horsepower, but if we could make something that did maybe 1,200, maybe, that'd be cool. One day.
Very much.
But no, I just thought it was really cool to see. These are cars that look like cars as well. You know, like for a while there, we were running cars that, you know, they look pretty wild. They made all the horsepower, but you definitely couldn't quite relate to them as street cars. Whereas these ones do look reasonably understated. Obviously, if you know what you're looking at, you're like, holy, you know, that's a great way to spend 150 grand. But they
Plus.
yeah, they are quite understated to look at. Say that all fits under the bonnet. You know, some of these cars run full exhaust on the street, that kind of thing, which is really impressive. Obviously, they're not on kill with their street tune. They're probably making a lazy 900, but on gate. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see. What about the EFI discussion though? Carby versus EFI. I know you're a big EFI fiend.
Yeah, that's just because I'm a bit of a turbo guy, really. And I'm a turbo guy because the only thing I know how to do is weld. And so you can buy a turbo and then make the rest yourself. So
Yeah.
means I don't have to buy a blower or whatever.
I
So
can
I
certainly-
do like that. And yeah. So EFI, I mean, obviously EFI is taken over. But there's, I mean, going back to Bob Velastre, like he's still running a carby on his, and I listen to a lot of, watch a lot of clips and stuff with Jake Bain,
Yeah.
and I love listening to people that are really, really smart, and all the info goes over my head like 100%, but I still do get some entertainment value out of it. And I heard Jake say, and I've heard this as well, I think Darren Morgan's probably said the same thing, nothing can atomise, you know, fuel like a carby can, you know. Like I think an injector droplet, I think Jake said it was, and I'm already running off the cuff here, but it's like 10 times or more bigger in size, you know,
the
a
weight,
droplet, like
yeah.
the atomisation that a carby can do is just, it's on point. So for your naturally aspirated stuff, it's probably the goey.
Yeah, I can certainly see the appeal for the simplicity of setup. I mean, obviously we did the blow-through carb on the XY, and I think in street driving there's certainly gains to be had if you switch to EFI, which I know he's talking about. But, you know, as a couple of, you know, spanner monkeys that don't know shit from clay, to set the vehicle up with the carby was pretty good. You know, I can see the appeal there. There's a lot of
We also relied, like, obviously heavily on Wayne at Performance Carb, sort of.
setting up the
He
carb.
set it up for
Yeah.
us, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
could, if you tried to buy, like, a shelf carb, like even a shelf blow-through off maybe someone that wasn't as reputable, I'm sure you could be getting some bum steering going on for sure. And I think depending on your power adder and where it goes, whether it's
linear.
you know, like say if it's on like a root style blower on top of the engine, you're not going to have any dramas because it's not, you know, it's not seeing positive pressure. But say on a turbo, it's probably not going to be as good as say with Mick with his centrifugal blower, because the centrifugal isn't going to move around. Whereas with a turbo, you're going to get different curves and stuff coming out. I think a turbo blow through would be a lot harder to manage than say like the Pro Charger with a blow through, because you sort of know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, as soon as you start playing around with boost, it comes on harder and earlier and later or whatever, and you just, I think it's a lot harder. And that's not from experience. I think I heard what is it, Big Chief talking about that actually when
Okay.
he used to root around with them back in the day. He said, yeah, turbos are hard work.
So
with
let's take
the
out the street driving aspect of it. For say, let's say race only, where a lot of it is just wide open throttle tuning. What do you think the difference would be there? Do you think there'd be?
Oh, fuck if I know. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sure there's still some rooting around to do. Like,
Yeah.
I think the main reason people don't go with EFI in a boosted application is because they're like old school or they're scared of wiring. Like I think that's the main thing, or they like scared of learning how to tune.
Yeah.
So
that
they
was
sort
the
of
point.
stick with what they know, which is obviously fair enough.
That was the point that I was about to make. I think it's definitely far less daunting, not like having sort of done it. I was far more willing to dive into the setting up that blow-through carby than I'm a little bit more hesitant with setting up the EFI on this, because there's obviously a big bundle of wires and a lot of sensors, and they're all crucial to how it runs.
Yeah.
Like I say, we're pretty lucky to have some people in the know that are willing to share some advice along the way, but it's still going to be tricky.
Yeah, I think as far as EFI installs go, the Terminator X, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah.
You got the little setup wizard and stuff, so you can sort of, the thing gets you halfway there as far as, this thing's got a new cam in it that needs to be run in, so I'm hoping we can get something pretty close where we can run this cam in and all those sorts of things, and it just makes stuff a lot easier.
Yeah, obviously being a flat tappet cam, that running process is pretty critical. It's not like your LS, which has got roller cam and it doesn't need a break in. So this one, we're going to have to be pretty well on it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we've got, because you did this cam quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the lifters are like a good set, because I know during COVID a lot of like flat tappet lifter manufacturing got, they had supply issues and stuff like that, and I've seen on different engine building groups and stuff like that, people have had just so many dramas with flat tappet lifters just shitting out because they're just not up to spec. Someone made a heap, or a few people made them, and they just weren't. They were just shit. They just did not. I'm guessing they got done overseas.
Yeah.
Like, because that's maybe all they could get. So I'm hoping we don't have any dramas like that.
hearing-
And I'm not even sure if the brand that you guys use, is it Crane?
Yeah.
Or Crane stuff. I don't even know if they did have those issues, but I know a lot of manufacturers did. So let's hope we don't have any dramas with that.
Yeah, I have heard a few sort of engine builders saying that they're refacing brand new flat tappet lifters straight out of the box, sort of getting the right taper on there and whatever to make it happen. But as you say, I did put this together a fair while ago, long before COVID was even a thing. It was 2017 when I screwed this engine together.
Yeah.
So if we're leaning on the COVID excuse for poor parts, I don't think that would fly here.
No.
But
Didn't realise it was that long ago.
it was, man. It really was. I was trying to think the other day of how long it was that I screwed this engine together. I don't think we've really mentioned what it is. It's a stock bottom N304. I think that was pretty plain to see. But so I was going through some pictures the other day, and I forgot a couple of details. It's stock bottom N, 284 cam with a double row billet timing set. We did head studs with it, but with a factory gasket, just to be on the safe side. It's got anti-pump uplifters. It's got the valve springs done. The heads were serviced, and valves were lapped in, and all that jazz. So it's had a little bit of tender love and care.
Basic,
nothing,
super basic.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. It's got like the stock rockers on it. We didn't go to town on the whole valve train thing. Like I say, this is going to be minimum cost.
As basic as they go, basic bitch. As basic as they go.
Yeah. Minimal cost, maximum fun. With a 6-speed manual and a 67mm turbo down the back, it's going to be cool. But yeah, it was a while.
It'll hold the family around just fine.
Yeah, this thing's been in the build just as long as mine has, so it's it'll be a really good thing to see it going.
Speaking of yours, we seen some pictures, didn't we?
I've seen some pictures, yeah.
You took some pictures,
It
didn't
made me feel inappropriate feelings when I was at work. Probably something that HR would frown upon. It's making some progress. I did post something on, I think it was Instagram and YouTube the other day, where there's a photo from underneath and all the stone guard was done. Basically, I don't want to be getting in there and getting in their way when we're this close to the finish line. The update that you get now isn't probably going to have max impact. So I'm going to hold off. The next
you
time,
might as well just wait until it's
the
ready
next
to
time
pick
you
up.
see the car, it will be painted and assembled, which we're getting close. Engine bay's done, boots done, door jams are done. It's getting to the point
Some
now
of the
where,
blackouts are done on the
so it's getting to
B-pillar
the
and
point.
stuff.
Getting to the point now where hanging panels need to go back on, block it, get it lined out, perfect, and then it'll be ready to go, which I'm excited about. This has been a stressful process, to say the least, and to see this light at the end of the tunnel, I'm super pumped, and I know that Simon and Jamie are probably going to be glad to see the back of it. So, but yeah, there will be an update on that in the not too distant future. I know I've been teasing that for a while, but we really are that close, guys. Like, legit. I wanted to talk about a post that I saw on Facebook not that long ago. It was a bit of a candid photo. It was in a hotel. So picture this as a dude at a restaurant, and he's taking a photo of someone that's sort of across the room a little bit. Just so happened to be the fellas from the Skid Factory and Mighty Car Mods. So, or what appeared to be. Everyone jumping on him in the comments going, what a creep, taking a photo of them, you know, like they never asked for it, blah, blah, blah. Whereas his response was, I was really excited to see them at this hotel restaurant, but didn't want to interrupt them whilst, you know, they were enjoying their meal. But he wanted the memory, you know what I mean? What's your take on that? As someone that, I guess, we're not in any danger of having that kind of attention as yet. But if you were in that sort of situation, say you were to open up your social media browser or whatever and see someone had taken a photo of you from afar while you were maybe having dinner with some like-minded folk, how would that make you feel?
I probably wouldn't care.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
There were a lot of white knights that were jumping down his throat, honestly, and I was just like, it made me
Must have
think,
been a
though,
slow day for him, mate. If you got time to jump on someone, whether you believe in it or not, you know, your life must be pretty good.
Yeah, that's right.
Or pretty miserable, probably one of the two. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's important to sort of know time and place as well. You know, like there would probably be nothing more cringe than sitting there, you're having a meal, you're having a chat with your friends, and then someone comes in like, oh, hey, man, like, oh, I love your shit, and you know, can we take a selfie, and looking forward to the next video, bro. It's like, man, just could have waited. I've
never put any thought into that.
Nah, well, I hadn't really either, but then, I don't know, it's just the discussion in the comment section that made me think of it, and I was just like, I wonder what your opinion would be on it.
I'm always happy. I've run into a few people here and there.
Yeah.
At work, when I started a new job, there was a few people, and I'm always happy to talk shit.
That's right. I've seen,
for the most part, but yeah, obviously if you're doing something else, out with the family or whatever, probably not.
I've been to the pub. Say I've gone to the pub with, say, one other friend. We've just sort of swung in, and I've seen someone wearing some merch, and if they're sitting there with their friend or whatever, and they're having a conversation, I'm probably just gonna give them the nod, thumbs up. You know, if they weren't in the thick of it, if they were, say, standing at the bar just talking shit, watching the footy, I'd probably go up, have a yarn, buy them a beer, like, thank them for their support. But if they're sitting down having a meal or whatever, I'm just going to give them a thumbs up, give them a nod, and if they want to approach me, obviously same rules apply. You know, time and place, but I'll be happy to greet anyone that supports us in what we do.
Yeah, we're living in a society now where everyone wants to project their own idea of what's acceptable and what isn't, instead of just sticking to their own. So, you know, you're probably better off if someone wants to whinge about it. It should be the people that were in the photo. You know, anyone else's opinion is null and void, really, to me.
Yeah.
So you should probably find something a little bit more useful to do with your time. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah. No, good chat. I guess we haven't really introduced the segment, but do you have a
this week's hot topic?
That's hot.
Hot topic?
I do. I do. Hang on. Let me get these right.
You still struggle,
I can't handle listening to myself in these things. But I seen something just before, and it was on the. Let me just make sure I get it right. It was on the NHRA thing. It got shared in Full Boost, I think it was, group a while ago. So if you're not on the Full Boost group, go and check that out, because there's some good stuff gets posted in there.
Absolutely.
But there was a fella in there that had a drag car, obviously, running off compressed air. It was compressed air supercharged. So it had some, like, what was it? It it can have up to 3 of these carbon fibre bottles in it. It runs 2 for 1/8 mile and 3 for 1/4 mile, and it's they're like a military grade, or like any sort of nitrous bottle or air bottle, I guess. They were carbon fibre ones, which you really like.
Yeah, I do.
Full of compressed air, and it just had like a basic big block Chev. I think it was 540 cube that made like 650 horsepower, like naturally aspirated. And they had this super elaborate compressed air supercharging system on it that pushed the horsepower on it up to 2,100 horsepower.
Holy.
And the kit can go to like, I think it was 2,400 horsepower this thing can do.
Jeez.
I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. So
What a crazy theory. Like, obviously, you've got the using nitrous as an oxygenation agent. Or you've got turbos or superchargers which compress air and force it into the engine, but then just to have oxygen in a tank and then
it's compressed air. So yeah.
Wow.
One note I did write down was when the compressed air is sort of released in the engine, it comes out at negative 100 degrees, and they're American, so I'm guessing it's negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. Is that just from the pressure differential going from a pressurized tank to atmosphere? I'm not a scientist.
I don't know. I just do the welding. So
I glue metal together.
You're you can just smash a whole bunch of timing into something that's got an intake, temperature of anywhere near there. So very cool. And the unique thing with it, I guess, is because they race obviously all around the country. When their altitude is different, like you're getting exactly the same operating conditions for that motor, whether you're at sea level or above or below. So
you're bringing your atmosphere in a bottle.
So you can dial in exactly where you need to be and where you want to be with something like that. It'd probably make like a ridiculously consistent bracket car, I guess, if that's what you wanted to do. I don't know why you would, but if that's what you wanted to do,
wow,
it'd be very very consistent. It's a very elaborate setup. The valving on it looked.
Oh yeah.
But basically, to look at from the outside, there's just like a normal sort of intake manifold with a front-facing throttle body, and then it's got this other sort of butterfly valve on it, so it's sort of just, you can tootle around and just pull air through the front, but then when the trans brake's let off, obviously electronics do this and that and actuate a whole bunch of different stuff. It basically closes this butterfly valve that's right at the front of the motor where it's drawing in air to sort of cruise around, and then it's getting the compressed air forced into it from that way.
So it's like it shuts the throttle body.
No, there's another butterfly in front of the throttle body. So there's a throttle body, like, where the throttle body is, and then there's this sort of I don't know,
in the intake tract.
Well, in the front of it, sort of looks like a
wow.
Yeah, it just sort of pokes off further forward, and then there's like a screen and a butterfly, basically another throttle body that's sort of actuated by your sort of 90 degree sort of pneumatic actuator. So it sort of closes it off, obviously, so it can seal, and then the compressed air goes in. And there was a whole bunch of other info he was saying. Yeah. The video goes for like 14 minutes. So if you are interested, cruise over to NHRA or the Full Boost group and just have a look for it. It was posted up a little while ago, maybe a week or a few days ago or something. So
that sounds like a wild amount of science to go into it, like regulating the air pressure going in and all that sort of stuff to keep it constant for tuning. And
he did say that they sort of got it perfected about 5 years ago, so they've been working on it. So
that's wild.
Very, very cool.
Something I didn't see, honestly. I would be interested to check it out.
That's why I thought I'd bring it up, because it's just like I've seen like maybe was it 1320 when the dude had 4 of those vac blower things hooked up to that little shitbox car or whatever, and I think it actually did help it in some way. Did make some boost or something, so it ain't crazy if it works.
No, that's right. It ain't dodgy if it works.
That's it.
Love it. Oh, good chat, mate. Well done. It's good that you bought something to the table.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
All right, moving on.
Marketplace morons.
Telling me, dreaming.
Marketplace morons, mate. We've been getting a fair few through the inbox. One of them recently, 60 series Toyota Land Cruiser Sahara. I think you fielded the reply on that one. $120,000 for a 60 Series Sahara.
He was taking the piss, surely.
That's the wrong model of Sahara to be calling that kind of money. Yeah. Holy.
I don't know, mate. 60's pretty good.
60s are pretty good. I do like a 60 Series Land Cruiser, although 120 grand for one.
Yeah. Land Cruiser tax is real on that one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Internet tax, wank tax, all the tax.
Yeah. I've definitely seen a lot of people posting up stuff they probably should have posted up a year ago.
Yes.
Or a bit more.
Yeah.
And they probably would have got a little closer to what they were looking for. But, you know, in true form, humans, you just wait too late sometimes. You just wait too late. So,
yeah. No, there's been a couple that come through on the DMs. Thanks for the guys that do contribute, because we do appreciate you guys reaching out. But, that one was one that definitely stuck in my head. The Land Cruiser. Could not believe it. I thought it was a good one to share. Have you seen any recently?
No.
We've been head down, arse up, honestly. It's been pretty full on. Anyhow, moving on.
You know what really grinds my gears? Running on the chip.
On the chip, powered by our good friends at ReadSpeed.
Readspeed.com.au.
Oh!
Go and check it.
He got it.
If you want yourself a premium accessory drive for your Holden V8, you cannot look any further.
I think you must have got Dan on the chip, because if you're one of our people that are on Instagram, saw it on our stories, or on ReadSpeed stories for that matter, we've got a couple of goodies that have recently arrived in the mail, and he made particular attention to make sure that it was highlighted on the box that it is readspeed.com.au.
How do you fuck that up, really?
I don't know how you...
I don't know how the fuck... I'm thinking back now, I'm like, what were you thinking about?
I don't know.
I wasn't thinking AU,
You weren't.
that's for sure. But
Left your noggin at home that day.
that's all right. We'll get there.
That's all right. 10 episodes in and he's managed to nail it. I think you've only messed it up about 3 times, which is, for you is not too bad.
Yeah. I'm not the polished presenter, and I never will be.
No, we're not aiming to be that. What you got that gets you on the chip this week, mate?
Getting sick.
Yes. Thank
Pain in
you.
the fucking ass.
Yep. As I don't know if it's been the same at your place, but it's been like a revolving roster of one person with a fever at any given point in time. And then as soon as you get through all 4 persons in the family, we go straight back to number 1 and live it all again.
Yeah, buddy.
It's winter, man.
Yeah.
Winter bugs.
Yeah.
Fucks me off.
Yeah.
Absolutely gets my goat. And it's the same every year. And it doesn't matter how you prepare. You get your garlic and horseradish tablets, or you get an iron supplement, or, you try and eat better. And, I haven't this winter. I'm carrying a couple extra kilos. But, you try and get that bit of extra sleep, and it's just, it doesn't matter. It gets you every time.
Yeah.
And I think this year's been particularly bad. Last year probably wasn't quite so bad, because we've sort of just gone through the whole thing of people were pretty ultra aware of if they were sick, they were staying home. Or it was a big thing where people were pressing people, if you're sick, stay home.
You dog.
Yeah. I think people are starting to crawl
Back to normal.
Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah,
the bugs
I don't think there's
free.
any more sickness. It's probably just a little bit more noticeable.
Or is it just the immune system is a little bit suppressed because of the lack of, let's say, exposure over the...
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been any extra sick, I don't think. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I haven't. It's just the sniffles and the aches and the fever and... It's
Getting old. Let me add to it. Getting older. I'm not old by any means, but everything is just not as easy. Like, I think we're getting to that age now where you're just starting to learn, oh yeah, I'm not fucking 22 or 25 anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that whole I'm a bit slow too, so I'm starting to take a bit longer to realise, like, I'm getting sore doing certain things. I'm like, fucking hell, what did I lift or twist or whatever to do that? Whereas before I didn't even flinch.
Not to expose you too hard, but I've noticed of late, you've gone and got glasses, you're going in and getting acupuncture.
Yeah.
You're starting
There's a lot more I need to do that I'm still holding on. I'm like, nah, I'm not that clapped out just yet. But yeah, you got to look after yourself, or try.
Yeah.
Or at least think about trying.
Yeah, definitely trying to make a a conscious effort to do a little bit more exercise. Just take the dog for a walk and just get out, breathe some fresh air, and get that heart pumping, get that blood moving, so that we can try and curb some of this sickness. But I tell you what, even just before my young fella's at daycare today, and I just got a phone call to say he's running a bit of a fever, blah blah blah, come get him. And it's just like, mate, I am in the trenches at the moment, flat out. Can we give him some Panadol just to bring the temp down, and I'll be there in about an hour, I promise. It's just never ending. And that's the biggest thing. Like, love your kids as much as anything, but when they're crook, everything comes to a grinding halt, doesn't it? Like, you can't be out here in the shed grinding, welding, hammering, whatever. You are stuck on the couch with them while they got their snotty nose all up in you.
Yeah. Have kids, they said.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It is pretty good. All part and parcel, isn't it?
The negatives certainly outweigh the positives certainly outweigh the negatives. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. I'm really excited, actually. My oldest is turning 5 next week, and I've jumped on the bandwagon, got him a little motorbike. He's not going to listen to this, so it's all right. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. If you are listening, why the fuck are you listening?
Yeah, the other 7 people that hear this aren't going to tell him either.
All the tens of people that are listening.
Yeah.
But
You'll be loving it. He'll be loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's something that I really want to do. Now that the youngest is getting a bit older as well, he's a little bit more self-sufficient and, a little bit less fragile, and he bounces a bit better and whatever, Got to get back out this summer. Obviously, when you've got little babies, you can't do quite as much. But I'm really looking forward to not only getting out in the cars. Obviously, my utes no good for it. But once the V8s is done, I want to, get the kids out in the cars, get out bush a bit more, take the motorbikes and, just live a little. Yeah. It's going to be really good.
Time's a real bitch, isn't it? I'm so bad at time management, eh?
Do you know what the worst part is? You don't want to wish away these young years either, because they're only little once. And sooner or later, that kid ain't going to want to know you for a little while, until they come crawling back because they need you to wash their clothes or whatever. But, it's precious time. It's precious time.
100%.
You got to find the balance.
Yeah.
But, illness definitely getting us on the chip.
Yeah.
I can certainly feeling that for sure.
What about you, mate? Nothing else?
I was going to say the same thing. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially
that's so funny.
Given that we just got off the phone just before we hit record from the daycare centre. I was just like, for fuck's sake, surely not. Not today. We've got too much to do today.
Yeah,
too much to do. But poor little fella. Looks like we'll have a cuddle date on the couch tonight.
Ooh,
yeah, loving that. You're back at work tomorrow.
Yes,
early night for you.
Yeah, 100% school night.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, we'll move on to our final segment. What do you reckon?
Hello?
Blow a wine. Our favourite little section.
Oh, yes.
It's a bit quiet this week. We only got the one call. People have gone a little bit quiet. I'm actually looking forward to when I get my shit sorted out and we do a live stream. You will have those comments sort of coming in. But even though you do have those comments coming in, those people that are watching could also leave a voice message while we're live as well. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Because, if we're live in front of them, they got something that sort of piques their interest then and there, they might, I'm going to do it. Because it's probably one of those things when you got something that pops into your head, say you're wearing the earphones and you're at work and you're sort of, in the thick of it. And you're, I wouldn't mind getting in on, that. And then by the time you get the time to do it, you've forgotten.
Yeah. Who cares at that point?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'd care. They don't care. They forgot to care.
They're the ones that need to leave the message though, so they don't care.
That's right.
And I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's listen to our one voicemail.
Hey boys, Zach again here. Just curious actually. Have you ever thought about doing a build on like a four-wheel drive mini truck? I don't know, something other than the Commodores. As much as I love the Commodores, I just thought, maybe something different, something you boys haven't done yet. Or have you even? Maybe. Just thought about the idea of something else, maybe getting a cheap budget build or doing like a budget build or something. Or, something like that. Oh, cheers, boys. love your podcast, love your videos, keep everything up. Glad I can watch and help support, and love the jumper. Awesome jumper. I'll definitely be getting a new one. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Zach.
Thanks,
So Zach
Zach.
actually called in on the last podcast and said that he was going to buy a jumper. Did it. Like, as soon as that voicemail come through, the next email was him purchasing the jumper. So that was it. He got it. We made mention, congratulations on your jumper purchase. Same thing. Get this voicemail. And he's bought another jumper, and I was a little bit confused. So, sent it and sent him the email with the tracking number and whatever. And when he's jumped in the DMs when it's arrived, I got curious. I was just like, what happened to the other jumper?
Yeah.
Did the dog chew it up? Was it not?
You were hoping for a story, weren't you?
Well, I was just like, what's going on here? This is a bit funky. Like, do you just like it that much or what? And his response was, I bought another jumper because the other one had to go in the wash.
I can't argue with the logic.
He needed his Torq Up jumper on lock, hey?
Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you that's quality hoodie, I don't know what
Yeah,
does.
so we're spoiled. We've just got them coming out the wazoo.
That's
I've
right.
got about 2 or 3 of the bastards.
Just as a bit of a heads up, do not go to torqhub.com.au or get yourself any merch just yet. We would urge you to wait. We do have some things in stock, but we've got 3 new items on the boil getting ready for pre-release as soon as we get our samples and we have that all locked in, because it's that close. It is that close, and fuck, we're fired up.
We're basically ready for them to do the work, aren't we?
Yeah. As soon as the samples arrive and we give them our tick of approval, we'll be showing you them on a video, and pre-orders will open. And man, this is going to be a banger release. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's just nice to come up with something. This is really our first real release, really, isn't it? A design that we sort of both come up with together, and
Yep.
it's not just the plain old logo sort of deal, and there's no black t-shirt, so...
That's right. The 2 new shirts are not black, so that's going to be something a little bit exciting.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
So
they look good. I'm excited. I want one just for myself so I can wear it right now.
I can't wait. Yeah. So yeah, if you were keen on going in and supporting your boys, picking up some merch, just hold off, because you can still
Not long.
You can still get that hoodie or that stubby holder, but just roll it into the one lot of postage. I'm doing you a favour. Thank me later. Back to the question though.
We have already spoken about this, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
I really wish I could be more productive. I need to get more done.
Yeah.
I've got all these problems that I haven't got solutions for. I need more room. This shed's way too small for how much shit I have. I really would ideally like to have 2 or 3 cars being able to be worked on at once, which is just not. It's just not a thing. I live in the burbs, so
yeah. The variety is the spice of life, and yeah, at the moment, what we're doing is Commodores. The projects that we have access to and that are sort of currently on the boil are Commodores. There is definitely...
sorry to cut you off, but we're not like as diehard Commodore as what we sort of come across as, I don't think.
We've definitely got some ideas or some aspirations and some sort of very loose imaginative plans in our head of things that we want to do. Like you say, budget build oriented. We've got that V6 ute that we're going to do. Basically, as soon as we can push this wagon out of this shed, we'll bring that ute in, because my shed's just not set up for fabrication like this one is. So that's a budget build that we want to do, and I don't know if we'll hold on to it. We'll build the car and we'll make the content that we want to make with it, and then we'll probably move it on, and we will look at doing something a little bit different. There's, money no object. There's all kinds of things we want to build, but we've also got to be...
Money is very much an object.
Yeah, that's right. Particularly when we've still got our own unfinished projects, like our own personal unfinished projects. So for Torq Hub to generate enough income of its own to do the budget build, and for us to be smart enough to market ourselves in a way where we can bring sponsors on board, or more sponsors on board, to help us along our way, that is definitely something we want to do, but we just need to build ourselves to a following where we feel confident enough that we bring something to the table. So if we're going to approach someone and ask them for sponsorship or for support in a build, we want to show that we can give them something that's mutually beneficial.
We basically want to be approached, really. I don't really want to ask
Yeah.
too much. Like, people will know if we're going to be of any value to them.
That's right. So, but no, there is some stuff sort of in the whims. I'm likely to put the SLE project on pause once it gets home. This is something that I'm sort of still tossing up with. I spoke with Kurt about it sort of very briefly the other week, where I may do a four-wheel drive related build. It'll be something that's reasonably quick and not crazy expensive, but just something that's going to help me, like I said before, get out and about with my family a bit more and a bit easier. So that is something that I'm weighing up. It's like, do I put the money in and get the VH closer, or does it not even scratch the surface where I can actually achieve this, which will be probably of far more benefit to my whole family, not just me. So I do have some ideas for a bit of a four-wheel drive build, a bit of an off-roader sort of setup. You've kind of got the same, I guess, in we could be doing stuff with your daily. There's some stuff that the four-wheel drive crowd might be interested in that we could be doing there as well, but we've just got to trudge through the work that we've got in the backlog already.
Yeah.
And man, one day
Full drive content probably would do really well.
I think it
would
probably
assume.
would. Yeah, I think it probably would, and particularly the sort of stuff that we would think of doing as well. I think would do very well, but you've only got a certain amount of time. One day,
Yeah, we're still trying to dial in a system that sort of
Yeah.
gets some sort of consistency and keeps that balance, the work-life balance. Because at the moment it's work, life. You know, there's three different avenues there, and it's pretty tricky to balance all three and have a good outcome with all three.
At
With
the
where we
moment-
want to be in, you know, with the YouTube and stuff like that.
At the moment, our goal for content creation is to put out 2 videos and 1 podcast a month. I mean, in a perfect world, we put out 2 videos and 1 podcast a week.
Yeah.
But
If we didn't have to work full time, you could easily do that.
That's right,
You do
yeah.
videos every 2 days, probably, but that ain't gonna be a thing.
no, not in any recent future anyway. But yeah, we get it, the Commodore thing, and don't worry, we say it to ourselves as well. Like, man, are we just really flogging a dead horse here doing Commodores? And I think all of our builds have been quite different, to be fair. I think we've got a good variety of flavour. And, you know, we did the piping on Cam's Barra powered F6, and we've done the compound turbo JZX, we did the XY, and so there are some slightly different things out there, but we do realise that the Commodore thing's probably getting a little bit old. However, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to sit through at least one more Commodore build of our mates before we branch out, although that next build is fucking spicy and you're going to love it.
Yeah, it's definitely not as budget orientated anyway.
No.
It's
He
sensible.
tries to ball.
It's sensible.
He tries to ball on a budget.
No, really. It's sensible, but it will be, if you like, so like I always say, if you like Commodore stuff, you'll really like this one.
Yeah. If you like HSV stuff, this one.
I guess we're just sort of more GM Holden guys and V8s, and that's just sort of where you land, really.
But that's not to say, I mean, let's just sort of, I guess, come up with some of the ideas that float in our head. You've got a real hankering for like a little Corolla or something like that.
Something small.
Or a Gemini.
Yeah.
You know, these are the sort of things that we sort of roll around in our head.
I kind of want to do something less street car and more, you know, just bare bones, and just not have to care so much about really anything. Sort of just, I wanted to sort of do a more race orientated kind of thing. And so my thought pattern is because we do it, it'll kind of be more like a joint venture between us.
Yeah.
The smaller the car, it's going to be sort of lighter, you know, like I want something sort of lightweight that still has good support with different bits and pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of considerations.
We've got an engine at our disposal which has a pretty good aftermarket backing, so we've already sort of got some ideas of, okay, what will we do with this, and whatever. And, you know, we're not going to spill the beans on it, but, you know, if it did come to fruition, it'd be pretty good. But it's all going to hinge on getting this ute done and sort of creating the content that we want out of it, and then seeing what value that has on the market when it's done, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to dollars and cents. And if we don't have the money that we can inject into it, then we're at a stalemate.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I was saying. We really need to just get this system that we've got going sort of dialed in so we can make the videos and it'll do what it does. And it just probably needs to grow a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I hate sort of talking about the whole financial aspect or whatever and sort of really harping on about, you know, poor us. But
it's not.
It's just about being real, and it's just being transparent about, like, guys, there's some amazing things. And if, you know, if we were, if we had a greater following and if we had a greater outreach of resources, there's some amazing things that we could achieve.
Or even
but we've just got to get there.
Yeah, even just being in different parts of your life, you know, we're mid-30s, young kids, young family, like it's anyone that's our age or older knows this is not always going to be the time where you've got all the spare time in the world to really go after
if we were
things,
10
you know,
if we were 10 years younger
or 10 years older.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, if we were 10 years younger, no kids, we lived here, this was our fuck pad, and we just had the shed and the bikes and the cars, and we just went ham, because it's just like after work, instead of drinking piss, you build cars, and we'd be able to pump out far more content. But you've just got to find that balance.
Yeah.
But no,
and we're still having fun. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it. So
no, that's right. And sometimes that's why there'll be a long break in between videos, because we're probably just not having fun that week, and that's okay. You know, like, we'll come back. We'll always come back. And if we're not coming back, we'll sure as shit let you know. But, you know, there's some weeks where this does get hard.
we should try and do another Instagram live at some point, just to get some tours with the viewers.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be awesome. We should get onto that.
Yeah.
I'll let you schedule it.
Yeah, sweet.
Which means it'll never happen.
Never. So, yeah, thanks for calling in, Zach, and thanks
again.
Thanks for buying another jumper too.
That's right. I threw in a stubby holder for him. I'm like, mate, anyone that's buying 2 hoodies in the one winter probably deserves a stubby holder. So enjoy that, mate. I hope that keeps your beer nice and crispy cold. All right, not to cut this one too short. We have gone an hour, though. It's a little bit shorter than our usual.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's still more than enough.
That's right. Like I said, I do have a child that needs to be picked up from daycare. So
yeah, we'll try and come up with a few more.
That's it.
Cool things to talk about next time.
If you haven't, go back and watch the video which was just previously released, where we finished off the turbo kit for the V8 rear mount turbo wagon, otherwise known as the low cut fuck truck. Don't go to torqhub.com.au. Don't get any merch just yet. Wait. Just wait. We'll let you know.
I reckon a week or two. It'll be a week or two.
Fingers crossed, yeah. We've approved the quote. We've got the setup happening, so we've just got to wait for them to be, the samples to be produced. And when they land, as long as we're happy with it, and I'm very confident we will be, because these guys do knock it out of the park, it'll be on.
I can't wait.
Same.
Sweet.
Take us home, mate.
That's it. Thanks for watching and listening as always. We honestly really do get a big kick out of it. And we will see you on the next one.